Well, good morning. Welcome to the program Sports Extra on the Wet Wednesday. Today is July 9, 2025. What a way to welcome all of you around Liberia and outside Liberia. Welcome to this Wednesday morning presentation of the program Sports Extra. It's on a wet Wednesday from the city of Pinzio. I don't know about your location. Probably it could be another wet Wednesday from your end. But today, as I told you first, sorry for the break-in transmission. We're back now, so welcome again. You can share the live video, invite others to follow also, and you can make your point in the comment section. We'll read it out for you. But one good thing about this interview today, I will be interviewing the president and CEO of Shatta Angels Football Club, Miss Benita Ure, who've been around for couples of years now. And last season wasn't a good one for the Angels of Carisbury. They were denied access to the technical center in Carisbury. They have to move to Painesville where they play majority of their home matches. And at the end, the season ended toothless for the Angels. So what could be the plan for next season? Normally before the season starts, we have Carisbury Cup. The first edition was held in Sierra Leone, Kenaman City. But we're in July now. Where are we in terms of the Carisbury Cup? And then also, what are the plans for Shatta ahead of next season? They parted way with one of their best performing coaches, Maurice Wayne, who contract ended and he didn't extend his contract. They announced the arrival of former Maigibi County Heaven 11 coach, Coach Arab Fofana, one of Liberia best coaches now as we speak. Is a CAF season lesson instructor who also teaching people how to become coach. And now he's a coach for Shatta Angels. What will he bring to the table as usual? What you bring to the table? He might bring the Women's Upper League Championship. He might bring the Orange Cup Championship. But we will know all of these as soon we return from this break. And then get this short break. As soon as we come back, we bring in our guest, Miss Benita Ure. Welcome back, and thank you so much for rejoining us. It's on a wet Wednesday. Like I told you, I'm here with the president and CEO of Shatta Angels Football Club, one of the well-branded women's football teams now in Liberia, the Shatta Angels. Madam President, good morning. Welcome to Angels Sports.
Good morning, Edwin. I'm happy to be here. It's an honor as always.
Is it your debut on the program Sports Extra?
Yes.
After a very long invitation, coming next Wednesday, coming next Friday, finally here today.
Yes, finally. I knew this time when I asked you. I mean, when you asked me, and if I was going to turn it down, it was going to be a serious problem for me. So I said, no, let me make sure I'm here.
A good evening to see you. How's it going?
Yeah, it's all good. Enjoying the off season, preparing for next season, but all in all, it's good. The rain is slowing a lot of activities down, but we're blessed and happy.
Is it from are you experiencing another word Wednesday from your end? Where you came from?
Yeah, driving Congo Town, there was a little bit rain, but the rain here in Painesville was much heavier. Yeah.
I think because it's a blessed city, so that's the reason.
Carisbury is the most blessed city, though.
Anyway, but let's talk about now. Say Kakata, yeah, Kakata will be.
You need to pass through Carisbury. Following.
But you have to pass through Kakata before come to Carisbury when you're living from the rural part of Liberia.
Yeah, okay.
But again, it's good to see you. It's been a long week, a long month since the football season ended.
Yep.
And then first, let's start from your team. How was it last season?
You know, when I first started working with Shatta Angels, I was the vice president for administration, and that was the season that we got relegated from the Upper Women's League. And I would think that that would be my worst season, but I think that last season was the worst season that I've had with Shaita. Um, I just felt like there was a lot going on. There were a lot of things happening that didn't lead to the success of the team last season. But I think that every failure that I experience and that my team experiences, we try to learn from it and to grow from it and see how best that we can improve off of those mistakes that we did encounter. And I think that was evident when we got relegated um, a couple of years ago. It was evident because when we came back from relegation, we were crowned champions of the lower women's league. And then we moved on to play our first Orange Cup final against Determined Girls, which we lost 2-1. So I think that when we end up failing, we don't take that as complete failure, but we take it as an opportunity to learn. So although I feel like last season was our worst season, there are still some good things that we can rise from. For example, Miata Morris being this one of the highest goal scorers in the league, Francisca Howe being one of, if not the best defenders in the league, Alberto Pratt going to be the first goalkeeper to take back-to-back best goalkeeper of the year at the LFA Awards. So those are all things that we are happy about, but we had a lot to learn from, and we hope that next season will be a better season for Shaita.
Last season, couples of signings, including foreign players and some big names.
Yep.
The return of Miata Morris, Lucy Kike, Hawapan, who's one of Shatta Angel's most expensive signing.
Yes.
And then at the end of the season, your objective wasn't met. You didn't win the league. You didn't win the Orange Cup. The Super Cup is coming. You're not into it.
No, we're into the Super Cup. We're into the Super Cup.
Okay. Is it going to be like because you didn't win the Orange Cup, you didn't win the league, but you finished the runner up in the league.
Yes.
So it means that okay.
Yes. So basically, from what I've experienced, when Shaita Angels lost to Determined Girls in the Orange Cup 2 seasons ago, Determined Girls won the league and won the Orange Cup.
Yeah.
And we thought that Shaita Angels, because we played the Orange Cup final, we were going to play Super Cup. But it ended up being, if I can recall well, Senior Pro that played the Super Cup because they finished second in the league. So I hope that people from the LFA are watching and they should know that they already set a precedent. So Shaita Angel is the one that's supposed to play the Super Cup this year.
I think this should be a really breaking news because many sports lovers also Liberia now. Also there now are thinking about War Girls versus Determined Girls.
Well, I hope that is not what's going to happen from the LFA because, like I said, Shatta Angels could have played Super Cup 2 seasons ago, but we were not given the opportunity because they said that Determined Girls won a double-double. So that's just it. The precedent has already been set. So Shatta Angels is the team that is going to play Super Cup.
I can remember that a few days ago I had an interview with the president of our War Girls, and her first target was that I'm getting prepared for the Super Cup very soon to tell the people that War Girls is back. And now you, president of Shatta Angels, saying now we're going to see another Super Cup tie between Shatta and Determined Girls.
Definitely. Shatta Angels is the current champion of the Super Cup, and we will be playing Super Cup to open the league.
When is the Super Cup at the start of the season?
Yeah.
With that lot of new arrivals last season? How was the feeling like heading to the new season when you won the Super Cup against Determined Girls?
Well, it was a confidence booster. It was a confidence booster. It showed the players that they are capable of anything. A lot of times people try to make it seem like Determined Girls is just Determined Girls and Shatta, but there are so many other teams in the league that we needed the confidence to face. For example, Bushwa Queens, World Girls, Kneeling Warriors, Senior Pro. These are all promising teams like Shaita. So it boosted our confidence to be able to face these hardworking players on other teams. And although the season was not successful for us in the light that we didn't win the league and continues being Orange Cup champions, but I think that winning the Super Cup, that was our first Super Cup trophy.
Okay.
I think it was a.
How does it feel like not playing in Carisbrand for almost 11 months now? playing Osa Carisburg. Is it kind of top of too difficult? Does it have a negative impact on the player mind? Because some of them was born in Carisburg, grew up in Carisburg, and playing before their family motivate them. And Shatta Carisburg used to be a slaughter hall for visitors. I can remember your Orange Cup semi-final match,
Yes.
return leg after losing the first leg, where you defeated the Charming
Yes,
at the
quarterfinal.
at the technical center.
Yes.
And now almost 11 months you've now been playing at that ground. How does it feel like?
Well, Carisburg is one of the only um, hometown teams in the women's upper league. I think that we may be the only hometown team in the upper league, if I'm not mistaken. No disrespect to the other teams, but it's extremely heartbreaking. It was also a shock to us because we camped all of our players in Carisburg with the exception of 3 players. All of our players, about 17 players, were on camp. So we camped them because we wanted to have access to our field in Carisburg. Well, it's field for LFA, but people say that Shatta field because we are the only team that it was our home ground. So we camped our players with the mindset that we're going to have easy access to these fields, and unfortunately, that was taken away from us. But we have access to other fields, it's true, but when it's time to play games, the love from the fans in Carisburg, there is not a day that we have played in Carisburg that we do not pull out a huge crowd because the people of Carisburg made this team. I was in school out of Liberia at the time when the people in Carisburg were building this team, which is why when I took over the team, I gave 10% of the team to the people of Carisburg because they are Shatta Angels. They go on the field, they cheered us. The season that we were in relegation, there is not a single game that it was not crowded in Carisburg because win or lose, the people of Carisburg have stood by both Shatta Angels and Shatta FC. So it was very, very disheartening, not only for us, not only for the players, but also for the fans because, for example, let's take into account one of our biggest fans, Maurice Freeman. He's a fan that we even awarded him Best Fan of the Year about 2 or 3 seasons ago. Maurice Freeman is somebody who, and not forgetting another huge fan that we have in Carisburg called Adebayo. Those are 2 people who don't, apart from missing our games, they don't miss our games, but they don't miss our practices either. They come on the practice ground. They even buy water for the players. They buy fruits. So many times I've been on the practice ground, I've seen Adebayo coming with bananas for the players and stuff like that. So, the team is a hometown team. The love from the fans are evident. So leaving Carisburg, it was a huge distraction for us because fans that were with us every single day, for every game, for every practice, we saw them maybe 3 times this season. And sometimes the fans will reach out to us and say, Prezzo, honestly, we have money to enter the field, but we don't have transportation, so we'll have to rent a bus to bring the fans. And realistically, 2, 3, 4 buses it's not even enough for our fans from Carisburg. So it's been disheartening, but we respect the LFA's decision. If they say that the field is not accessible, so be it, although we have seen other people access the field. But that's just it. We would love to play in Carisburg. We would love to help the LFA decentralize football in Liberia, most especially women's football. When Shatta FC qualified for the first division, the thing that was ringing in Carisburg, in my ear and in everybody in Carisburg ear was, finally first division football is coming to Carisburg.
Yes,
and then it was snatched from the people of Carisburg's hand. So that's just it.
Without that, are there plans to have maybe the Angel Sports Stadium being built in Carisburg?
We've been working on it. It's very costly. At times when you're working in football in Liberia, you have to prioritize. You have to say, do I need to pay my players this month, or do I need to save money to buy turf for my field? And definitely I need to pay my players. So a lot of things have been holding us back. We have already cleared the field. We're willing to partner with whoever that can help us bring in the rightful turf, FIFA approved turf to fix our field. But we are not rushing because we want something to be to the level that we are building our team. So we have our field, we have property we have land available for our field, but the finances are just not there.
Your team used to practice, you have a couple of training section in Dole community.
Yes.
Uh, was it also at that facility, does it have an effect on your player playing style when it comes to game? Because that area is kind of like tied up a little bit
Yeah.
small for a first division club, women first division club like Shatter, who's eyeing to go to the WAFU or the CAF.
Well, realistically, people will feel like small fields don't help teams, but it helps us a lot when practicing possession football and stuff like that. So I feel, first of all, I must appreciate the people of Dole community because they have been more than welcoming, and then they have made Dole community our other home. Dole community, our Dole community fans watch our games like very, very religiously. And even our practices, you will see so many people around watching our practices. But I don't feel at all that the field has had an impact because we don't lose or draw games because our players are tired. There are other technical reasons why we have been losing and drawing games, but I believe that the field has been good to us.
Okay. If you just joining us, this is a reminder you're watching Sports Extra live and exclusive on Inti Sports this Wednesday, July 9, 2025, with me, Edwin Battleford, and Miss Benita Ure, CEO, President of Ashata Angels, is my guest on this Wednesday. A lot more to talk about, but we're getting this water break. As soon as we come back, we dive into more discussion on the show. Don't go away, stay with us, and keep sharing the live and making your point in the comment section. Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining us again. It's live on Inti Sports. The program is Sports Extra. July 9, 2025 is the date, and this presentation seems to be more fascinating because we have with us the president and CEO of Charter Angels. They were participated in 3 different competitions. They won the Super Cup at the start of the 2024-2025 league season against Determined Girls after post-match penalty victory. They went on to lose the league again to Determined Girls. They got knocked out of the Orange Cup by Determined Girls. Probably was it a revenge for Determined Girls?
Oh God, I don't even know how to call it. Everything Determined Girls shatter.
Yeah, because you won the Super Cup against Determined Girls.
Yeah.
So there was like, wow, if we don't come back together and stand strong, we might lose everything to Shatter. They come back together. They got 3 wins out of 3.
Yeah.
2 in the league, 1 in the Orange Cup.
Yeah.
Maybe was it a revenge or what? Do you see it as a revenge?
No, I think that a lot of things happened during the league, like Lofty Sector's suspension and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
By that time, I know it was kind of like stuff. Again, okay, you were one of those who advocated for ambulance be at match venue after the incidents involving your players. Was that Esther and Francisca?
Yes.
Against the Tamangers. Was it in February? Now the LFA provide ambulance before the season could end. I think there was an ambulance. Is it your maybe advocacy for ambulance? Was it meant by the LFA to do the needful?
Firstly, the LFA stated that they would provide ambulance, but it was short-lived,
Okay.
very, very short-lived. Secondly, I don't want to take 100%. I don't want to take the glory 100% for LFA affording us ambulance, which is their responsibility as written in the rules and regulations of the LFA. But I think that I did apply pressure on the LFA, and I think that my players, Esther Masale and Francisca Howe, did apply pressure on the LFA. I don't think LFA providing emergency vehicles, because it was never ambulance that they provided, should be applauded. No. I don't, because it's their responsibility, and the league lasts 8 months, and I don't think that after 6 months of the league being in motion, that you provide emergency vehicles sometimes, that we should applaud you. But it was very, very disheartening at the time. What happened with my players, Esther Masale and Francisca Howe, and what happened with players like Amara, Loretta Saki, and the rest. It's very, very heartbreaking for me. One thing I tell all my technical staff is I don't play up on my players' health.
Okay.
My players' health is number one priority to me. I could lose a game, but if my players are safe, then we live to see another day.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big news. A few days ago, we saw on the internet pop it up Shatter Angels, Coach Morwin pathways.
No.
Many do see that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just something like even me, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
What really come up to this decision?
Well, although it was floating around social media that Shatter Angels mutually parted ways with Coach Morwin, no, it's not the fact.
Okay.
Shatter Angels solely decided to part ways with Morwin.
Okay.
And we gave that notice to his agent, and we parted ways just because it was no longer a good fit for Shaita.
Was it his contract over or?
Yes, his contract was over, and there should have been a discussion to extend his contract.
Okay.
Yes, but we opted to not extend because we don't feel like that partnership worked anymore for us. He did put his name in history, in Shaita history, winning the Orange Cup and then winning the Super Cup, and then also were able to push him to win the Best Coach of the Year. But he may be the current Best Coach of the Year for LFA, but he's no longer a fit for Shaita. So our board and our administration came to a mutual understanding that we had to part ways with him and move on to another coach. And we do wish him all the best, because there were sad times, but there were also amazing times. And he is a great up-and-coming coach. He's very young for what he has achieved. Many people who are even older than him have now won the Orange Cup and Super Cup. So it's something that we do applaud him for, but we don't feel like it's a good fit any longer. So we had to part ways with him.
Is the door still open for his return in the long term?
We can never say never. Coach Morwin, like I said, is a very, very talented coach. He knows what he's talking about. He taught me a lot about football, formations and stuff. He knows what he's doing, but it was not a right fit for Shatta now. But I can say tomorrow if it could be a good fit. But right now, the new coach that we brought on, we are happy with him, and we hope that we can get the best results with him.
With the departure of Wayne, did his technical staff follow, or is it another playing problem maybe to work with the old technical staff along with the new coach?
He didn't build a technical staff. There was only one person that he encouraged us to bring on, which was Eltonia Pratt. But I introduced her to him. I've been knowing her outside of football and in other aspects of football as well. So she's somebody that is like a sister to me. So, but the technical staff there that we have are like 80% based in Carisburg. Those are all Carisburgians. Those are people who built the team. For example, our team manager, our current team manager, he brought me on the team. He used to be deputy coach of Shaita, Prince Zoe. He brought me on the team. Right now, he's a team manager, and he's also our safeguarding officer. Then we have Rufus Kolo, who is also a Carisburgian. We have our medic, Marie. Maxwell is a fitness trainer medic, but we brought him on last year, and that was a recommendation from our captain, Francisca Howe. And then we have our medic, Marie Salif. She's also a Carisburgian. We have our caretaker, Ms. Blama, who is also a Carisburgian. And then we have our goalkeeper trainer, David Rennie, who is also a Carisburgian. So most of our technical staff are people from Carisburg who made Shaita who it is today.
Now, a new coach has been announced to supporters, fans, and followers.
Well, Thomas Kochorola leaked that information. we haven't officially announced it, but the information is true.
We probably normally in football, if Edwin is appointed as a coach of our inter-sports football team, I might come with my own backbone staff.
Yeah.
And has the coach communicated with your board, informing you that he's coming with a backbone staff, or he probably maybe just want to work with the backbone staff that's available?
So what I really admired from our new coach is he made a statement to me. He said, all your staff are young people. I would like to train them and make them grow, because as you know, he's one of the coaching instructors in Liberia, and I don't think we have that many. I think we have like 6 or so. He's one of the coaches that has made coaches in Liberia. So he wants to take Eltonia, Rufus, Prince, Maxwell, and make them, and David, and make them more, because they are young, they're open to learn. So I really admire that he is open to working with people who he doesn't know to build them, because if you know Coach Ara Fofana, you know that he's one of those coaches who has been around women's football. He started this thing with the late technical director, Henry Brown, who is the founder of Shaita Angels. So he, I think, has a lot to offer, not only to our players, but also to teach our technical staff a lot. And I believe I can also learn from him as well.
Wow. Now, Shaita started preseason preparation. They started training. Players are back, getting ready for the new season. What are the plans for the upcoming 2025-2026 LFA Women's First Division? A proposal been made to get a name change, or Women's Upper League. What could be your objective, your target? What you hope to achieve? Are there new arrivals? Are there departure of players already?
Yeah, so we hope to achieve the goal remains all trophies is our goal always. Nobody wants to be a loser in competition that they participate in. So as always, we want to win all trophies. Yes, we've sent some players on loan. We'll be selling 2 or 3 players internationally. The news will be coming out very soon. We have signed 2 Ghanaian national team players, senior national team players.
Wow, that's a plus for the ages.
Yes, we have brought some players like Marie Wiles back from her loan deal. Martha Seon, who is also a goalkeeper, we have brought her back from her loan deal. We are permanently selling some players. And we are building a team. We are bringing on 7 new players to the team.
The 7 players, are they, how many from Liberia and how many coming from outside Liberia?
4 from Liberia, 3 from outside Liberia.
They all 3 are Ghanaians? Or?
Yes, all 3 are Ghanaians. You know, I love foreigners. I've lived out of Liberia. I've lived around foreigners, but I've grown to understand that I love working with Ghanaian players. I love working with Ghanaian players.
Mary Nuno should be attested to
Yes,
that.
very humble, very hardworking, very willing to dedicate. I've worked with Nigerian players like Chichi Faith. Chichi was also very dedicated. I've worked with Gambian players like Salimata. They are all very dedicated, but I noticed that also the Ghanaian league, they have a great competition. Like Mary Nunu, in Liberia, Mary Nunu is a star player, but in Ghana, she didn't even play in the first division. So I mean, in the Premier League. So that should show you that the Ghanaian league has a lot to, both all the Ghanaian leagues have a lot to offer. So we are happy to bring in more Ghanaian players. We're also bringing in players from other countries like Ivory Coast, Gambia. So we are very happy. We have some shocking announcements of players that we are signing, and it's always exciting for me to bring in young promising Liberian talent. I love working with Liberian players. I love to push my fellow Liberian sisters, so it's amazing for me to bring in talented young Liberian players. And then also I don't know if people really were in the know, but when we signed Esther Masale, Esther was actually on our team with a 1-season loan. So now we have permanently signed her. So she is officially a Shatter Angels player. She will always be a part of Neymar Girls. And congratulations to Neymar Girls on qualifying for the lower league playoff. But she will always be a product and a player of Neymar Girls. But now she is officially a property of Shaita. And we believe that Esther is one of those players that when we do send them out of the country, that they could make hundreds of thousands of dollars for themselves, for their family, and for Shaita as well.
There was a rumors concerning the extension of contract to your former captain Miata Morris. Has it fit now with Shatter Angels?
Well, I felt like, firstly, I don't know who leaked out that information, but I thought it was so unprofessional. It was very unprofessional. I wouldn't like to speak on Miata's contract because it's a confidentiality thing. But Miata is a player of Shatter Angels, and we have great plans for Miata. Miata left to play in Uzbekistan. Unfortunately, she came back not because she was underperforming, because she performed extremely well when it comes to goals, when it comes to assists, and when it comes to playing time in Uzbekistan, she performed extremely well. But there were multiple issues with the club that she was playing with. They were trying to behave like Liberian clubs. Some Liberian clubs, they were not trying to pay my player on time. Okay. And I know that when Miata is on Shaita, I don't go even one day after the time, and I pay her the money she deserves. So there was no reason for my player to stay on that side if the team was not keeping up to their responsibilities. So we brought her back. But definitely, we don't intend on keeping Miata in Liberia for much longer, because there's nobody that bigger than the Liberian League, but I believe that Miata has made her name here enough, and she needs to go out and explore and achieve for herself and her family. And I do believe that Miata, along with so many of our other players, have the great capability of providing for their families and being probably the #1 provider for their family. And I believe that Miata will be one of those.
You, at the beginning of last season, you saw the promising Gambian striker who lived up to the promise in the Kingsburg Cup, and probably the expectation going to the league wasn't met. How's the relationship with Shatter Angels and that of Gambian international Kadi Jaju?
Yes, so we always try to maintain a good relationship with every player. That's football. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're in the middle. Sometimes you're a little bit above the middle, a little bit below the middle. So we do appreciate Kadi. Kadi was our second highest goal scorer last season after Miata Morris. Although the gap was huge, I think about 20 goals gap between her and Miata. Well, you know, that's football, like I said, and we'll see what is going to happen next season with Kadi. But we are proud of Kadi. We loved working with Kadi. She's a humble player. She's a fearless player, and we love all of our players that we've worked with, players that their contracts have expired, players that are on loan. We worked with them because we saw their potential. And I've been following Kadi before she joined Shatta. I followed her for 2 years in the Ghanaian league. Okay. Although she's a Gambian, she played for Lady Strikers in the Ghanaian league. And she's a promising player. You know, Kadi is young. She plays for the Gambian national team. Recently, she scored for the Gambian national team. I'm proud of her. I hope that she keeps working. You know, the force that Kadi has. Some striker in the jet waiting for ball to bounce to their phone and score the goal. But Kadi will fight for her own balls. Kadi will give assists. So to me, she's a humble player. She has a great future ahead of her.
The other Gambian,
Sally.
Sally?
Yes.
Was he on loan or?
Sally was on loan, but she was on a 2-season loan.
Okay.
Yes. So her team CEO is actually the head of women's football in Gambia.
Okay.
So I started a good friendship with her during the WAFU tournament in Liberia, and she's been like a sister to me, advising me. So getting Sally on my team, we took Sally on a 2-season loan because that's their product, and I don't think that they were very willing to lose her 100%. But I think that Sally coming to Shaita put her on a bigger platform because before she was only playing for the under 17. I believe she played for the under 17 and she was like the deputy captain, either the under 17 or under 20, if I'm not mistaken. And then playing for Shatta, I believe, gave her the spotlight, and then they called her up to the senior national team. So I believe that playing on Shatta has been good for Sally, and we love Sally. Sally came on as a winger, but Sally has proven to be much more than a winger. She's proven to be a attacking midfielder, a defensive midfielder, a winger, and a right back. So she has made herself very useful.
I do personally admire her for her fighting spirit whenever she comes off the bench. Her impact, but I haven't been convinced whenever she starts a match.
I can always tell Sally, I say, start Sally for the rest of your career. You want to be bench player because the way how Sally comes from the bench, it's like she's gonna change the entire game. I say, Sally, do you want to be a game changer or you just want to be a player? I always tell her, but I think that Sally is so humble. She wants to give everybody the opportunity to prove themselves before she comes and shows what she's capable of. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I do believe that at the ending of last season, she picked up from, I would say she was at maybe 55%. She picked up to reach to like 75%. So I believe that this season is going to be much better. She understands the league more, and I think that she could do better.
Let's talk about the Ivorian international.
Yes.
Who was part of the team, who was see that though she found it difficult to speaking the English properly, and playing outside a country, I mean, from your country, playing outside in an environment that English is not just spoken widely, but colloquial, as our own English. How is it like for her to also, is your office or your administration believing in her, seeing her as a long-term player for the Angels?
A couple of things about Marie Pascal. We call her Kama. That's how we call her Kama. Couple of things about Kama, First thing first, Kama can speak English, Kama can speak English good. You will be surprised. Kama grew up with Discovery's president.
Okay.
In Ivory Coast. She not only speaks English, but she speaks colloquial 100%.
Wow.
So it's like Discovery president was teaching her something. Yeah. So she speaks English fluently. It's writing that gives her a problem, but she uses translator. But she speaks English well. She gets her point across well. She's a very outspoken young lady. She loves Shaita. She loves to win. So she has always been very outspoken and hardworking, We brought Kama on. We didn't see a video for her. Kama manager was in contact with our coach at the time, our former coach. We just took a chance and she came in. I believe that she's one of the best defensive midfielders in Liberia. She knows the job and the role of a defensive midfielder. I think she made our defenders work easier and she made our goalkeeper work easier because before reaching to those two groups, you have to pass the defensive midfielder and it's almost impossible to pass by Kama unless you want your foot to be there again now.
Let's take a look at one of your, probably like to say, a founding player, Nerissa Tier,
yes.
Your captain, former captain, been loaned to Bushel Queens. How was it feeling like? Was you really 100% satisfied with this decision to allow Tier go on loan, get more playing time, and come back to the Angels?
I don't know how to say it. I don't know. I can't say that I'm sad and I can't say that I'm happy because I love Nerissa. Nerissa is a little sister to me. When I came on Shatta, she was a star player on Shatta. She still is a star player for us. She was one of the first players that I watched go to the national team from the team that I was heading. And, Nerissa leaving, I have had conversations with Nerissa prior to this season about everything about the team, about her performance, and what she wants for her future. And it was a discussion she and I held that if she was not getting playing time this season that just ended, we will see what's the next step. And before I could present a next step to her, she was mature enough to reach out to me and respectfully, humbly tell me that she loves the team. She loves playing on Shaita. She loves her teammates, but she wants to explore. And she never asked to leave the team permanently. She asked to go on loan. And I told her, I said, Nerissa, I support you. And I support any of my players that want to leave because I don't believe, and sorry, no offense to all my other team presidents, a lot of y'all don't believe in selling your players, and it's very bad. You have to give the players chance to explore and do more and be more. So when Nerissa reached out to me, it was heartbreaking. That's my captain. I started Shaita with her. I remember when they announced me as vice president of Shaita. I remember Nerissa was awarded the highest goal scorer of Shaita at the time.
Yeah.
And I want Nerissa to go back to being the highest goal scorer of a team, you know. It doesn't bring me joy to see Nerissa watching the team from the bench at all because I know her capability. I know her sense. You know, some people come to play football and then they learn how to play football.
Yeah.
But Nerissa is like that type of player that already knows how to play football. You just need to develop on her knowledge. She is so sensible in the game. She has every single ability that a winger should have. So I hope that Bushokun will be good to her. And we really, really look forward to her coming back to Shaita.
Does the loan contract, allow her to play against Shaita?
Never. I learned a valuable lesson. I've sent two of my players. To Just FC. I will never forget. We were on our winning spree. I go send my two players to Just FC. I never put in a contract that the children will not play against. So Princess Harris and Massa Fode, those players, they didn't play with us that day on the field. It was because of them we didn't win that day. The children really played with their all, and I was like, after that game, I said, if I ever send player on loan again, they can play against Shaita because I was like, watching them playing, like, I even agreed to send the players on loan, like they are so good and stuff, but you live, like I said, like every failure, it teaches us a valuable lesson. So I will never forget drawing that game to Just FC in Carisburg. It was like the biggest embarrassment ever.
What's the fate of, just before we leave the player aspect, what's the fate of your two backup goalkeeper, Kumasa and that of Asatu Dole?
Yeah, Kumasa, it was very heartbreaking for us the entire of last season because Kumasa sustained an injury the week of Super Cup, and she has yet to heal from that injury. So we're working on it, but she has been so much better. She's been practicing, and we see great improvement, and we believe that Kumasa is going to be back. I mean, if you've been in Liberian women's football, you know that Kumasa has always been one of the best goalkeepers in Liberia. So when she heals fully from that injury, I know that Kumasa is going to come back and put that pressure on Alberta that Alberta needs. Alberta needs some pressure. And then we brought Martha back. Martha used to be our first choice, but for some personal reasons, she was out. And then we had already 3 goalkeepers when she was ready to return. So we sent her on loan to Senior Pro, and she did extremely well with Senior Pro. I mean, the president of Senior Pro, Mr. Glasgow, he really talked a lot of good things about her. So Martha is back. For Asata, I cannot speak to where we are with Asata. We ended the season with Asata being on suspension for some behaviors that we didn't think that reflected well on her and the team. But like I said, we love all our players, we respect all our players. So I'm sure that within the coming weeks, we'll speak to what's going to be the future of Asata, if it's on Shaita or it's on another team. But we respect her, we appreciate her. Her time spent on the team. Last season, she carried one clean sheet. And yeah, she's a promising player. And I believe with focus, hard work, she can be one of the best goalkeepers in Liberia.
Found out with Malusu, the female George Weah, she used to be called.
She's still called.
Okay. How does it feel like? Are there any plans to allow her go on loan, get more playing time?
No, Malusu is not going on loan. We do hope that she can get more playing time because Malusu is one of the utility players that we have. We have 3 utility players that can play anywhere on the field. It's Sally, Orita Togba, and Malusu. Those 3 players, you put them in the midfield, put them in the defense, you put them in the attack, they will give you the same work rate. we need Malusu, we need her, and we're keeping her. So right now, Malusu and Kanti are the only two players that are born Carisburgians who are still on the team. Kanti Blessing Kekula Saru, that her nickname Kanti.
Yes.
So those two players are the last Carisburg players standing ready.
With these new arrivals of our players, the several new arrival of these players, are you working? Are your team working along with the coach to know what department that he need player for? It is in the defense, the midfield, the attack, or the goalkeeping area.
Well, like I said, we were working with Coach Monroe when it wasn't really a planned decision for us to part ways with him. So we worked along with him and his other coaches to know what positions that he needed, but we already kind of really had a idea already. And I think that we are very happy for Coach Arab to come on board because we need a coach that will make input in the transfer window and help us to recruit players. And one of the biggest signings we're about to do, he's the one that's fully orchestrating it. So I hope that as he continues practicing with the players, if he sees the need for us to get more players, I'm very open to it. But I think right now with the players that we're buying in our rooster and the players who are already in our rooster, we have a very, very promising team that can win all trophies this season.
Madam President, just before we conclude this interview, I want us to talk about the Carisburg Cup.
Yes.
Last season, we saw Shakhtar Angels going to Sierra Leone to take part in the Carisburg Cup, and which helped them a lot. I saw some of their name players, saw the partnership of Miata Morris, Kadi Jaju, and Lucy Kike. Now, we into July. Are there hopes that the the Carisburg Cup can get a return?
I'm all about planning. I'm all about giving opportunity to Liberian players to be and do more than they are doing currently. Edwin, you were with us, and I think two other Intel Sports journalists were with us as well when we went to Sierra Leone, and you saw the success, the liveliness, the friendships we made with other Sierra Leonean teams. I think the Carisburg International Cup is something that's supposed to promote Liberian women's football, but then this year we wanted it to be grand. We're actually including 6 male teams, and then we're going to have 6 female teams, 1 international team from each category that was going to be fully covered by us. We started the preparation since April. We reached out to the LFA for access to a field for what we believe was going to be the biggest tournament in Liberia football history, because it was even going to present a larger cash prize than the Orange Cup. Wow. It was very heartbreaking for the indirect turn down that we received, because the reason why it has not been confirmed that we can have the Carisburg International Cup is because, according to information from the LFA, they stated that the district league they don't know when the district league is happening. But I've been a part of the district league for 2 years. I serve as co-chair of the District 1 committee 2 years ago, and last year I served as chairperson of the District 1 committee. And what I can say is the dates that I was requesting, it's about 3-4 weeks after the district league ends. So I was kind of blindsided as why would the district league be a reason for us to not have our league. And then another reason they stated was Beto Max, which is a proud sponsor of Shakhtar Angels, is having a tournament, but they haven't given their dates. So I wonder, they haven't given their dates, but I've given you the exact dates that I want to use, and you're prioritizing. Beto Max, I love you. No offense to you, but you're prioritizing a company's tournament that has not even given you the dates yet. Then their last excuse was there will be a under 17 tournament taking place in Liberia, which of course we know that it will not take place on SKD practice pitch or Tusa field. So I think that it was just an indirect way of saying, no, you may not use our fields for your tournament. That could empower a lot of Liberian players and help get them scouted by international partners. No, you may not provide that opportunity for Liberian players.
Well, the moment the LFA gave you such reply, how was it feeling like?
Yeah, it was expected, to be honest, but I was heartbroken because so many of my players have reached out to me, President, when the cup will be, President, when the cup will be. You know, it's just heartbreaking. Liberian, like the way things happen in Liberia, not only just Liberian football, but the Liberian football drama. It is it's more disheartening because it's a close group of people. It's not like a large group of people.
Okay.
You are just among a few group of people, and you know that you can look at somebody and say, probably this person played a part in not affording Liberian players the opportunity to participate in the Caribsborough International Tournament. So it's very, very heartbreaking.
So it means that we're not going to see Caribsborough Cup 2025.
Definitely not, because first of all, I'm a big planner. The tournament is supposed to start almost 1 month from now, and I cannot plan the tournament that I want within one month, because I wanted it to be very grand. I wanted to bring in prominent people within football. I already reached out to former national team players like Tashiki Sompon, Nestor Sandy. I even wanted to reach out to former President George Weah. Like, I wanted this to be a unifying tournament, and I believe that the LFA believes in unification. I believe that the LFA believes in promoting football, not only women's football, but male football as well. So I hope that maybe next season we can work with the LFA to make this tournament a success, because I'm good at lobbying. I will lobby around to get the proper sponsors to make this the biggest tournament in Liberia. But I don't get fee, I don't get money to pay fee right now. So I will always be depending on the LFA. So I hope that one day we can have access to the field. I do appreciate the LFA. I respect the LFA, but I believe that was a wrong decision. Very wrong.
We have to go home again that you can accept another invitation. But just before we go, the 9 months to the LFA Elective Congress in April 2026. Are they planning to see Miss Benita Yure as an executive committee member contestant?
Edwin, why are you always doing this to me?
No, it's just a question. Somebody wants to know. Probably maybe they will say, okay, yeah, Miss Benita has worked over the years. She deserved to be an executive committee member, and then probably might come to you saying, no, I don't want to be. But we just 9 months to the elective Congress. It's one of the biggest event, the moment within the football body that the entire world will be like watching Liberia, who becomes the LFA new president, or who remains, or who becomes a new executive committee member. Like now, you have Murphy Gray, who resigned from ESA and will now be contesting for an EC position in 2026. Probably it will be like, okay, I can step in, replace Murphy Gray. Are there plans?
So far there have been no plans by me at all. Zero. Not even a thought. Because right now I'm focused on winning the league. That's my focus, that's my goal, and that's my dream for my career in football, for Shattered Angels to win the league. So that's my focus. But we have first of all, some executive committee members. I think like only 2 of the current executive committee members, I didn't vote for them. But I can tell you, more than 80% of the people I voted for, I'm voting for them next year. Wow. So they will know how they come in. Because I'm so disappointed in so many people that I voted for, pretending that they were coming to be the change, but they were actually the oppressors. So I'm not voting for about 80% of the people I voted for last year. So last election. So if I voted for you, you will say you're improper. And
is it like they are not working?
I feel they are not working. They work against a lot of things that they should not be working against. The message that they came to me and preached that made me vote for them, they did not keep up with those messages. I think that there have been a lot of under the table things that have been done, and I believe that we can get more from the executive committee if everybody there means well. Of course, there are so many people in the executive committee and the vice president that mean well for us, like Mr. Sekou Kone. That's a great example of somebody who goes around people, who listens and respects people's views. A lot of people may have problems with Mr. Adolphus Dolo, but I do believe that Mr. Adolphus Dolo is somebody who is open to listening and hearing the concerns of a lot of people. So I do respect a lot of people in the executive committee, but I do believe that at least 80% of them need to be changed. And I would say here, I would be supporting Mr. Kasselko for president of the LFA next year. Not only has he proven to be somebody who wants to make an impact in other teams, not only his team, but he has strongly supported Shaita Angels to the fullest. And I believe that I will always support people who support me. I will always uplift people who respect me. And it's no disrespect to Mr. Mustafa Raji, President Raji. I believe he's a very, very intelligent football administrator. But right now, I'm Team Cassell, and Shaita Angel is Team Cassell, and that's the route we're taking. But like I said, my plans right now has nothing to do with the executive committee. It has everything to do with winning the league. And I wish everybody who is running in the EC well. But for Shaita, the people that we voted for last election, the changes are going to be so many, so many. And I encourage everybody to reach out to me, because I'm one person that has an open mind. I'm not the number one decision maker on Shaita, but I am the majority. I'm the majority shareholder on my team, and I think I know what is right for my team. And I think that our board chairman, Mr. Andy Kwame, and our other board members, including Nelson Man, Eric Panton, all of them believe for Shaita. So I think that they trust me to make the right decisions at the Electoral Congress. And I'm telling you, once again, at least 80% of the people that I voted for last election, I will not be voting for them.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. I hope we can have an hour discussion again concerning your team just before the start of the league.
Yes, definitely. I hope the rain will not be falling the way it's falling today. What?
No.
But thank you so much
for
having me.
Because peace is blessed.
Yeah, okay. So I imagine it's raining more in Carisburg right now. I'll call when I leave here to make sure, because that's a little city blessed by God. But thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you to the entire Intel Sport team. It's an honor. I have amazing friendships with all the people working at Intel Sports, so I hope we can continue it. And Intel Sports, this season, you're going to carry more shot at Intel Game Live. I'm calling you all on a national platform. But once again, thank you guys so much. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so we have to call it a day on this Wednesday presentation of the program. Sports Escrow. We have to go 14 minutes into the 11 o'clock because we came up 15 past 10. So, but sorry for the time inconvenience. But just before we go, I read you some of the comments that have been flowing on our live videos. Say Frank Haji Green say, watching live, Ms. Benita, you are the best president. This one say, good morning, Madam President. I think your decision of Hall leaving to have sufficient playing time to develop was not wrong. More playing time is crucial for players' development, which can positively impact their overall performance and developmental toughness, resilience, and the ability to handle pressure. Thank you for this. This one comes from Coach Famanta Dane. Aloysius Slocum says, senior female professionals, she left us with about 7 clean sheets. That's Mata Sion. Wishing you all of the best in Shaita Angels. Gostu Pare, that's Gostu Fu Pare. He said, I'm following. This one say, Winston Carver Diggs. He said, Benita Ure, footballing IQ combined with her sharp intelligence makes her an absolute intellectual powerhouse. I really love how you answer the question about her former coach. A brilliant way to handle it and split off personality. Promoting basketball in Liberia says, I'm following from Congo Town. Theophilus Wiape say highlight. Aloysius Sloan, him my instructor. That's Ara Fofana. Emmanuel Sensi said that me not supposed to follow. G. Cooper said, I'm following this morning. Thanks to Benita Ure for the level of improvement you have brought to female football. Maka Davis, he said, great show. Elijah Pan said, Interspose. Julius Stewart said, highlight. Abraham B.I. said, following from Pinzio, precisely the best district in Montserrado. That district number 6. We hope that district 10 can pay the price when they meet us in the district league. But until then, I'm Edwin Butterfriend. Have a seven God blessing Wednesday from Pinzio City. Bye-bye.
See, Mary, that's the Alamo. That's another one. It's not focused. Tadi na pushata hiyo. Tadi anasogeza. This is the message. On to lose the kick. And it's go. Tadi. And it is go number 6 for Shata Angels. Tadi Taru. Lose the kick. That's what they need to lose it. A brilliant one. Excellent one. Hard to lose it. 7 goals to 1. We got it. 7 goals to 1.
Intel Sports, Liberia's biggest and professional sports television station, is now located at GSA and Rehab Drive in Painesville. Intel Sports is 100% Liberian owned. It is an exclusive sports platform that provides extensive and quality local content sports programs across the country. Follow us on our Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, or better still, on our app on Google or Play Store. For business purposes, you can contact us on these numbers. Intel Sports will remain Liberia's exclusive and best sports television station. Mary Sports provides you with the opportunity to interact directly with the stakeholders in the sector, the players, fans, including the coaches. It comes your way once a week, every Wednesday,